All right. So you guys know that the National Wake Up Call is every Monday. It's at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So here it's 11, and most of us are unable to hear it at the time. So usually in the afternoon, you can there's a callback number, or you can go right onto the Beachbody website and you can replay it there. I like to listen to it on podcasts. I just find it easy. So I downloaded the Beachbody podcast, and I usually listen to it. If it's not available on the way home, then I'll listen to it on the way to work. And they always go through, the congratulations at the beginning to the rank advancements, and then they go into some announcements, and then they always have a topic. And this topic I felt I really wanted to talk about because I think we're all frustrated with certain things, particularly with finding the time in our day to do this all. I don't know everybody's background on the call, but most people, I know that we work. I know some of us have kids, whether they're grown or small, whatever. And if you are anything like me, you're spending a lot of time going through Facebook and trying to figure things out, and going from this website to this website, and oh, I heard this was good, let me check it out, and oh, I got to get my like page up, and oh, I got to do this. And if you're anything like me, your head is about to explode sometimes. So what they all talk about, they always talk about the 3 vital behaviors, right? That you want to be the product of the product. So we all work out, we all drink our Shakeology, we post about it, okay? That's what we want to do. We invite people, and we had spoken to that many times about like forming relationships and things like that. And that's going to be part of your power hour. And then personal development. And I have to tell you, I was never big on like reading and things like that. And a lot of my personal development actually comes from podcasts. But I feel like if you add those 3 things in with your power hour, then the business is just going to keep growing and growing and growing. So if you definitely allow yourself anywhere from 10 minutes on of personal development a day, whether it's reading a book that you enjoy, like You're a Badass, or, GoPro, or Entrepreneur, or whatever it is, it just builds your confidence. And I don't know if you listen to the National Wake Up Calls or other podcasts like Chalene Johnson, Build Your Tribe. I've been listening to that. It's excellent.
The National Wake Up Call in the podcast app, is that where you're finding it, or you do it with callback number?
I usually do it in the podcast app. Okay. Just because I'm like, oh shoot, I don't like when I'm driving.
Can't find that one. Okay.
When you go, you have the podcast app.
Yeah.
Just type in Beachbody.
Okay.
It's let me look at it now. I mean, like I said, it might not be ready like that. Team Beachbody podcast.
Okay.
They also now have the Shakeology podcast. You should be getting emails with that information. I think it's like the 3rd Wednesday of every month, and they just had Darren Oline on it, and he's one of the co-creators, and they went into basically how Shakeology is different from everything else, and it was really, really interesting. So that's another podcast you could look at. But all that's considered personal development, because I don't know if you feel the same way, but when you read something or you listen to something, it's motivating. You're learning. You're getting that the stimulation, and you just want to go. It's like with like when I go to a conference for speech and language, like I may be like, oh, I really want to do that with my kid, and it's like it gets you like inspired. So this one was creating the power hour, and the coach was Stephanie Chico. I don't remember how many stars she was or anything like that, but she's been working in the business since I believe it was like October 2012. And they were in a really bad situation at the time, monetarily. Her husband had worked for Major League Baseball, and I guess his career was done, or he got laid off. They didn't have any income. She had 3 little kids, all under the age of 4. And in order for her to make some money, her husband went out of state to become a pitching coach. So he was gone for months at a time. So here she was at home with these 3 little kids, and she stumbled upon the Beachbody business, and she found herself doing what probably most of us do. And throughout the day, you're just kind of going through the motions, and you know everything you need to do. You know you have to connect with people, and you know you have to post on Facebook and things. But it's like, okay, you could literally check in 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 times a day, and really not get anything very productive done. Like maybe you posted a couple times, and maybe you had really great posts, but did you add to your network that day? Did you add value to your challenge group? Did you do this? Did you do that? And I know when I first started, up until I'm actually, my 1-year anniversary is like in 2 days. I'm really excited. But up until a few months ago, I was like on the phone constantly checking my messages and checking this, and I felt like I had to respond right away and do this and do that. I was all over the place. I mean, my kids would be talking to me, and I had no idea they were talking to me. I mean, that's how sick it was. So I've started to make a little bit more of a business hour, where back to work now. I'm up at 5:30. I'm working out. I sit and I have my coffee, and I try and spend about a half hour. And like I said, I'm going to be speaking to myself with tough love, as I'm going to be speaking with everyone else. But I get up early. I try to do my half hour. I check in at lunch. I just check quick through. Check in right after work, quick through. I come home, and I'm really trying to kind of set it down a little bit until at least like 8 o'clock. And then I'm trying to get my kids in bed as early as possible. Everybody's settled. So I know that from like 9 to 10 or 8:30 to 9:30 that I have that time that I can sit and focus. And even if my husband's watching TV, I can sit next to him, but I can do it. At least we're in the same room. Because for a long time, like I was up till midnight, 1 in the morning. It was a nightmare. And I was like getting really, really burnt. So that's why I kind of wanted to touch upon this. But anyway, I talk way too much. So you can work throughout the day and honestly get really minimal accomplished. So the first thing that she suggested is that over a few day period, and now Teresa's really new, so she doesn't even have like that much time to even put under the microscope. But for the rest of us who have been doing it even a little bit longer, really like go through your day and think about what you do for your business throughout the day. Track your activities, so say like you get up at 6 o'clock and you work out. Right now you're sitting down. So from 6:30 to 7, what are you doing? Like, be honest with yourself. I know what I'm doing. I'm scrolling through Facebook. I can tell you what I'm doing. I'm scrolling through Facebook and trying to connect with people, yes. But is it really meaningful? No. Yes, I'm wishing happy birthdays, I'm doing this, but I know that I'm not being productive as I should be in that half hour. So if you track your activity for a few days and see what you're doing, put your business under the microscope, then you can gather that information and really figure out like, okay, this is all the time I'm wasting doing this. Let me push everything into this one block of 1 hour and put the top 5 things that I need to do. And let's do that every single day. And then I can scroll through Facebook if I have time, or then I can do this, then I can have extra. You're going to try and start with an hour a day. It can be in the morning, it can be at night, it could be at lunchtime. If you work for Nassau BOCES, you get 25 minutes, so that's not happening.
25 minutes more than I get.
That's true. If you're in the nurse's office, you get nothing. So it's... most of my time, like I said, is in the morning and at night. So basically, your power hour is your hour of highest productivity when it comes to your business. So like I said, you may be doing a few times checking in here and there and posting in the groups, things like that, but you need to sit and focus for 1 hour. And it's really going to be mostly 45 minutes because that's what our attention span technically is the best for, according to Shalene Johnson. That 45 minutes is like, that's why, like, if you notice, like, high school classes and things like that are like 41 minutes. It's because of that. So basically, the highest productivity in that 1 hour. So you know what to expect that day. You know what is on your plan for that day. You know that you can customize it to your schedule. So if one day that you have, you have to work overtime, or, your kids have swim lessons or whatever it may be, then okay, well, wait a minute, I need to break it up here and there. There are some afternoons where we literally have nothing, and I'm like, yes, I get a full hour to do absolutely nothing. To do what I need to do because I don't have to run around. And then if you get all those tasks accomplished, that you had a productive day. That it doesn't matter if you did anything else. If you get the next 5 tasks accomplished, then you had a productive power hour. You did it. So what does a power hour consist of? So there's going to be 5 areas, and each of the areas are estimated to take 10 to 15 minutes. I know for me personally, there's going to be some that are going to take longer because I'm not overly creative. So I know the first one, which is creating content for social media posts, that's going to take me a little bit longer to think about. Many of the top coaches, and if you Google it, or go on YouTube or whatever, and you say scheduling posts, Beachbody coach, whatever it is, many of the coaches go through they have a calendar, and every Monday is, say, Motivation Monday, Tuesday, Transformation Tuesday, Wednesday, Workout Wednesday, I'm saying Throwback Thursday, Flex It Friday. Maybe it's I'm actually starting a new thing where I'm going to do Fun Fact Friday. I had a lot of engagement in my post from last Friday, and I gave away Shakeology packets, and I think that's just going to be my thing now on Fridays. So maybe you could think of something that's fun and engaging once a week or once every other week, and that those are the posts that you can schedule and create the content, say on a Sunday night at 9 o'clock. That's your power hour. Part of your power hour is going to be creating that content for the week. Now, if you do Sunday, if you do the basic posts for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, well, then on Monday, you can kind of think a few days ahead now too. Now you have 2 or 3 posts scheduled for each day, and it kind of just builds up and builds up. And then I know I have to do that. There are days where I literally have 1 post, and I know that it's not good enough. You need to absolutely post your workout, absolutely post Shakeology somewhere in there. It could be anything. And you want to create meaning. You don't want to just post something just because. You want to create a meaningful content in your post. So yes, you want to share family. Yes, you want to share your pets. You want to share about your job or just about life in general. But when you're doing your actual Beachbody post, you want them to be thoughtful. And as I said in the wake-up call, not kind, thoughtful, intentional. So you want to think a few days in advance. You could always jot down ideas in a notebook or on a notepad app in your phone, and schedule posts. There was one app they mentioned called bufferapp.com, which actually I guess it's a website. It's not an app. She said it was an app, but bufferapp.com. There's also that Hootsuite, I think it's called, HOOTSUITE. I believe Anna started using that last week, and she said it was great. And on your like page, you can schedule posts. So it's really just like posting on your regular page. You can't schedule unless you use one of those apps. So that's the first part, creating the content for the social media. You want it to be intentional and meaningful. And if you plan ahead, this way you're not scrambling every single day for those posts. You can still post throughout the day, like I said, about the areas of your life. But when it comes to Beachbody, those will be intentional.
Hey girls, so Danielle, the one I used was Post Planner.
Oh, Post Planner, okay.
Because it gives you ideas for questions to ask and
That's right.
Viral photos and stuff like that too.
Post Planner. Okay.
Is that
It
an
ha-
app or is that a website?
It's a website.
So it's postplanner.com.
Yep, if you go to postplanner.com and look at their website and you sign up, it's like $9 a month. You can post up to 10 times a day to both your regular page and your like page. And it gives you all different ideas. Like there's viral photos, there's quotes, there's like questions that you can ask.
Okay.
If I'm trying to think what else there was. There's like a bunch of different categories and they'll suggest like different things you can post after you post for a while and they like learn what you're doing.
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad you're there. I didn't even know you were there. You must have been on the other screen. Thank you, Anna.
You're welcome.
Postplanner.com.
Yeah, like I said, the only issue I ran into is I made so many posts for the party today that it ended up locking me out because you can only do 10 a day.
Oh.
But I think on a regular day, you wouldn't do more than 10. It was just because I had made a different post for every workout.
So you literally planned all those posts ahead of time?
Yeah, I sat down last night and in like 45 minutes, I planned them out and I like timed them out so that they like evenly went through the day. And then you schedule it so that it's there and then it just automatically uploads it for you. So basically what I did with mine was, you know how Stephanie has on the website the like what to post and the different times?
Right.
I went through and I set it up for each day that way so that when I do post, it just automatically slots them into those times.
Very cool. I like that. I'm going to have to check that out. Because I'm glad I'm off tomorrow because it's my day to do the group. And I'm like, all right. So I'm like setting my phone alarm, like, okay, 8 a.m., do this.
Well, that was my issue. I was at the mall shopping for stuff for this weekend, and I like randomly checked my email waiting in line, and I'm like, it was like there was like 4 emails being like, your post failed, and I was like, oh crap, what do I do? But we figured it out.
It was all good. It looked beautiful. So thank you for chiming in, though. I'm really glad that you were on there to share that.
You're welcome. I'm muting myself now because I'm at the bowling alley.
Okay. So funny. So the second thing you're going to do after that one, after the first thing is done, and you don't necessarily have to create the posts for the week in that 10-15 minutes, but maybe you're jotting down ideas, or maybe planning one or two. The second thing is you're going to check into the challenge groups. Stephanie, the coach on this call, was very adamant about how running challenge groups was her job. That's how you get the successful challengers who then want to become coaches and help other people. And just having success with your challengers, obviously, is going to bring referrals and it's going to make you feel good. So that's where you want to check into the challenge groups. You want to answer their questions and add value to the challenge group every day, share a recipe or the motivation. I think our challenge groups are doing pretty well. And I like how we kind of reevaluate them every once in a while. And there's so many of us. Like I felt like it was more like she was talking to as if you were like one or two coaches running a challenge group. There's so many of us who check in throughout the day. That it pretty much runs on its own, but you want to add some kind of value. And then another idea is that if you find like, say you post this, something in the challenge group and like the engagement is insane and it just turned out to be a great post, save the post and put it in a file, in a document. So this way, the next challenge group, you don't have to reinvent everything. You can just, pull it up and use it again, or maybe tweak it in a different way. They actually say that about your regular posts too. Like you don't have to create 100% like all new content all the time. You can use same pictures. You can, maybe I wouldn't use the picture of myself drinking my Shakeology in the same green shirt that I wore, 2 days ago, but the same picture, but maybe you would, maybe there's a quote that like got a lot of engagement like 6 months ago or 4 months ago. And now you're like, oh wait, I really like that quote. Let me use it again, or, and see if it gets engagement again. You don't have to recreate all the time. The third thing would be to be.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How would you save a post? You said save it and reuse it.
Well, you could copy it
Or take a picture.
or take a picture, a screenshot.
Okay.
Sometimes you can just share to yourself in Messenger.
Oh, okay, and save it that way.
That's true. You could do that to yourself.
Send
and
it to yourself.
And then save it to a folder.
Thanks, Anna.
Post Planner saves everything. Hi, Jen. So, okay, so the third thing would be present in your team page. Now, we all are in Stephanie's team page. But you want to add value. Like, it doesn't matter if Stephanie's the leader of the team page. Like, we all want to add value to each other. So say something, worked really well for you, and you said, you know what, I had this great conversation with this person today, and this is how it went, and this is what was said, and, this way, like, we're all offering leadership to one another, because everybody has, like, their own personality, and everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses. So if we can help each other, that's adding value to the team page. So even if something didn't work, be like, oh my gosh, this didn't work and I don't know what's going on. And I kind of feel like we do this already, so I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it. But I will say that as you start building a team and getting coaches, like I just finally started, I started to make my own little group of coaches on a team page, and I'm not breaking away from Team Pura Vida by any means, but it's a way for me to know that my direct coaches, my personally sponsored coaches, are getting information that I need them to get. So that's the intention of my team page. And this way, if there's something they need to get in touch with me, it doesn't get lost amongst everybody else's stuff. It's just in that one little group. So the fourth part of your power hour is probably the most important as far as being consistent, besides the posts. You want to build relationships and form relationships, and you want to increase your network. So that all goes along with the inviting. And Teresa, I know you're very new to this, but inviting doesn't just mean like, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach, come join me in my challenge group, woohoo! It's like forming relationships. It's I don't know if you went through Coach Basics yet, but it's forming stands for family and friends, occupation, recreation, and then you send your message. So you're getting to know them on many different levels, and then you can invite them to be a part of your challenge group, or maybe you're going to invite them to the business opportunity, So basically, you want to go through on your Facebook, you want to add 3 to 5 people a day. And it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. So what happens is that they always come up with people you may know or things like that, but you could go to one of your friends' pages and you could go for mutual friends. And if you have mutual friends with them, you may be comfortable if you have 3, 4, 5 or less, more, whatever it is, and you request them. They accept your request. This coach sends hey girl messages, which I like the way she put it. So she calls them hey girl messages, and what she does is once somebody accepts her friend request, she goes through their page and she finds out something on them. She finds out, their family or maybe their job, whatever, she finds something that she can connect with on their Facebook page. And she shoots them a message saying, hey girl, thank you for accepting my friend request. I see you have 3 kids. They're gorgeous. How old are they? And it's ending with a message with a question, because that question is more likely to elicit a response. And now you're just going back and forth. You're meeting new people. It's not coming across as like you're trying to sell them as something, because you're not. You're just trying to engage them in a conversation. And that's this one thing about Beachbody is that, and I guess any multi-level marketing type of situation, you're trying to create these relationships with people because you want to expand your network. If you keep going to the same groups and the same people, you're going to run out of your warm market. So you have to start expanding. So I loved how she called it the hey girl message. And so basically that's like a really, really important part of your power hour, because now you're friend requesting about 3 to 5 people. And then the ones that accepted from the day before, or 2 days before, you're sending them messages and trying to engage them in conversation. Then, now this is how I was trying to think about it. So say you add 3 to 5 people a day, okay? That's about 90 to 150 people a month that is now on your friends list. Now, once you get a like page, if you choose to make a like page, now you're inviting them to like your page. Whether they do or not, I don't know. I have a lot of invites out that I don't know if they don't see, they don't care, whatever, they don't want to like it. I've had some unlikes. It is what it is. But 90 to 150 people a month. You add those people to your like page, right? And so now, remember last week when we did the party, we talked about boosting your post, how if you want to put a little money into it through Facebook, you can boost your post. So now you added, let's just say 100 people you added this month to your friends, to your network. And I'm going to say all 100 liked your page, okay, just for number purposes. So 100 people liked your page. Well, now those 100 people, let's say they have 300 friends each. So that's 3,000 people. So now when you boost your post to friends and to people who like your page and their friends, that is 3,000 more people seeing you, potentially seeing you in that 1 month. And that just blows my mind when you really think about it.
My privacy settings, which we talked about in another group the other day, because I did have stuff set that it was friends only and not friends of friends. And I did change my privacy settings. It took me a while to feel comfortable to loosen up my Facebook, because I felt like my Facebook was my business and it was private, and now it's so not anymore.
So not. I know.
It's so not. But I definitely saw how restricted my Facebook was, because if a friend likes something and their friend doesn't see it, it's not going anywhere.
No.
So the friends of friends or public, that's important if you want to get more engagement.
It is. So just think about so if you starting from today, what's today, Tuesday? The 23rd. So even from now until what's today, 22nd? I don't even know what today is. 22nd to the 30th, 8 days. So say you had 24 people. That's a lot of people in 8 days. Now all of a sudden you're adding. And it may sound like, well, how am I going to meet these 24 people? There's so many people you could look back, reconnect with from high school or college or another workplace, or, mutual friends of a friend. I actually just friend requested this guy. He was friends with Lindsay, that teacher Lindsay that just got engaged. I can't think of her last name. And I wanted to see his wedding pictures. They look like great weddings. So I friend requested him. He accepted. So now I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, Lindsay. I know Lindsay, and you look like you had a great wedding. This would never have been me a year ago, ever in a million years. And being that Facebook is so public at this point, you will never see my kids in front of their school sign. You will never, people do that all the time. I'm not in that position right now with 1,200 friends and friends of friends and friends of friends of friends seeing. I don't need them to know exactly where my kids go to school. It's not that hard to figure out, but I don't need to know that. So there are certain things now when it comes to my kids, I maybe won't share as much, because I know so many people are watching for Beachbody. But anyway, so when I thought about how if you added 100 people and then you boosted an ad for a challenge group, how many more people are now potentially seeing your posts. And it's amazing how many people actually just reach out and say, hey, I see you doing this, right? Because now they see your challenge group and they say, oh, I wonder what that is. Now they say, oh, wait, it's coming from, Danielle's fitness journey. Oh, wait, let me check that out. Oh, wait, let me go like that page. And now they're seeing you work out every day. And now they're seeing what you're doing. And now they're seeing how much you love your Shakeology. So it's kind of like that rippling effect. So as long as you do that consistently, then you're going to grow your network and you're going to grow your cold market, and that's how you're going to grow your business. So basically the 5, just to recap real quickly, So the 5 topics were creating meaningful and intentional content for your posts and planning them a little bit ahead of time. Like I said, you don't have to do that all in your power hour in that 10, 15 minutes. You're not going to sit and make 5 posts. You're just not going to have the time. But maybe you could think of a few things to help you along in the week to make it easier. And if you do that every day, it just, builds and builds. The second part was checking into your challenge groups, which we all pretty much do every day. Third was be present in your team page, which we all pretty much do every day. The fourth is very important, the building of relationships and the increasing the network. And then the 5th one can be more time consuming, and I feel like you should definitely leave it more towards the end of the hour, but you want to return all your messages that you get and follow up with people. So you want to answer your inbox. Even if you can't get to their question or send them the video then, just answer them and just be like, listen, I got your message. I'm so sorry, but my kid's concert's tonight and I can't get to you until the morning, but I promise you it'll be first thing in the morning. And follow up with them and make sure that they know that they're important, because it's about customer service too. So once you do all of that, that's the 5th. That could definitely be more time consuming, because I feel like that's when you're really going to start scrolling through Facebook and things like that. But how do you know who to follow up with? So I'm going to share my screen a little bit. I'm going to find the business activity tracker. There's also the power of 3s, which we have spoken about before. And it's just a sheet, where you write it down. So this way, okay, yesterday I friend requested this person, this person, this person. Let's see if they accepted today, because then maybe I'll send them a message. I sent this one videos, and this one said that she really needs to lose some weight. And this one said she doesn't know if she could drink Shakeology because she's gluten-free. Let me check on that, and then how to follow up. So you're not sitting there like I am, racking your brain like, oh my God, who do I need to do? And then you're going through your 1,000 messages and you're like, coach fail. I totally forgot this girl from 3 months ago, and now she bought the 21-day fix off somebody else. So that happened to me
Or
quite
they
a
go
bit.
to Weight Watchers. That's what happens to me.
Well, you know what? I feel like, honestly, if they're going to go to Weight Watchers, they're going to go to Weight Watchers, whether you followed up or not. Because I think some people just out of fear don't want to try this. They either don't feel that they will have enough accountability. People say, I need to go to my Weight Watcher meetings. I need to go. Fine, go. Good. I'm glad you have time. Go. And, I hope it works out for you. And if it doesn't, you know where I am. I have 21-day fixers who literally still go to Weight Watcher meetings, and that's their thing. It's fine. Whatever whatever works for them and they're happy, then it's good. So basically, you want your power hour to be intentional. You want it to be purposeful, and you want it to be thoughtful. You want to put thought into what you're going to do. You want to create meaningful content. Some days they say beginning coaches really just spend an hour. Once you get to a point where you're more involved in the business and your customer base has grown, and maybe you're providing trainings, your 1 hour may turn into 2 hours or 4 hours. I know for me personally, just getting ready for this and doing for the post for the group tomorrow, and I know Anna put time in and Jen put time in, whoever's doing for the online party, obviously they're spending more than an hour that day. It's by the time you put everything together, it's at least 2-3 hours. But it's done, and now we have it for next time. So, it's just that initial time. But most of the time, as long as you do that hour and you do it consistently every single day. And you know what? Everybody's busy. This is where the tough love comes, and I'm saying it to myself too, okay? But everybody's busy. Everybody has life going on. Everybody has kids, sports, jobs, pets, family, care for people, whatever it may be. But if you want this to work, you got to be there. You got to show up every day. And you're not going to tell your boss at your full-time job that you're not coming in today because you don't have time. Because if I did that, I don't think that would go over very well. So, listen, it does work. To me, work gets in the way of my life, but I'm sure to most of you. But if you want this business to work, you're going to do it. It's your business. You run it how you want to, but if you're getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning because you have a million things to do that day, then get up at 7. Like, and I don't mean to sound harsh, and I really don't. And I'm saying it to myself too, because listen, there are days that I totally slack, and I'm not posting enough, and I'm not doing this, and my head is all over the place, or I'm up visiting my sister, and you think I want to post things when I'm just like spending time with my nephew. No, but the reality of it is this is a business. And if you want the business to work, you're going to work your butt off until you get it done. And they say that you work hard at the beginning so that you don't have, that you work hard for very little at the beginning so that you don't work a lot. I'm not getting this right. You work a lot for a little at the beginning, and then at the end you work a little for a lot. I think that's how they say it. So basically, you want to just build this. They said something today, actually, in a different call that I listened to, the Emerald call, which I do want to do like in a week or two, that in this business, when you build your foundation, when you have your solid foundation, it's hard to build it, right? So pretend it's a construction site and you're making, a building, and, geez, I have to measure and I have to figure everything out, and I'm just plotting it right. And now you're building your foundation of these strong coaches, these emerald coaches, right? These coaches that want to be in, and you're building, and it takes a while because one drops out and then the building goes crooked, and then it goes this way, and then it goes this way, and then finally it starts getting stable. And then all of a sudden, guess what goes up really quickly? And it's true. Like if you ever look at construction of a house, like it takes a while to kind of like frame it out and get it right. And then all of a sudden it's like boom, 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 structure's up. And they say that once you hit a certain point in this business where you're making like $1,000 a week, which sounds like a lot of money because it is, but when you're at that point when you're making $1,000 a week, all of a sudden it's like boom, it just keeps going and going and going and going because you already built that solid foundation. Nobody's going anywhere. Everybody, even if one goes somewhere, it's okay because there's enough to cushion. So once you get to that point, then that's when you start doing a little bit less, and you kind of like maybe just focus more, instead of getting like the challenge packs, you focus more on just keeping that team culture alive and keeping everybody together and happy and things like that. So I hope that was helpful. And does anybody have any questions? Did I talk way too much?
No.
I was wondering when the next challenge group would be, like if we're going to invite people to a challenge group.
We always invite to a challenge group. The thing is that what we kind of just started switching over, Sue Ellen, is that we always had Pura Vida Fitness Family, right? And that was just our customer support page. And then every month we had these challenge groups, and nobody was required to check in or anything like that. And some were great and some kind of floundered a little bit. So we started thinking, all right, what's going to go on? And then Stephanie had said that someone she spoke with was doing one every 3 weeks because of the 21-day fast. So that's when Stronger Than Your Excuses came up. And we said, okay, we're going to run it in 3-week blocks. But Pura Vida Fitness Family, that's not just going to be a customer support page. It's going to be a challenge group that's less strict. So that's like an ongoing, monthly themed kind of challenge group, just to kind of keep them engaged. And we'll do something fun for fall. So that one will start. Pura Vida will have something, I guess, officially start October 1st. Stronger Than Your Excuses is every 3 weeks.
So it's ongoing.
I think that comes out to be the 5th, because I've been talking to people. The next one will be the 5th.
Right. So when I get someone and I say, hey, just so you know, we have this great monthly challenge group where it's laid back and everybody engages and shares and things like that. And then we have this one where we ask that you check in every day. And let me tell you the success that these people are having because they're checking in every day. I'll be honest with you that Sue Ellen, I want to say Sue Ellen and Deborah and all those, they were like our first people.
Yeah.
And they're rocking it. Like that weight loss, those totals, oh my God. Like we never had that in the other challenge groups. Yeah, people lost weight, but I mean,
It's definitely working.
these are insane numbers. I mean, these are crazy. I couldn't believe it. And even like people that were in other challenge groups and then said, okay, you know what, let's do this. They're not as consistently posting as you are and Deborah. Like you, Deborah, and a few others are consistently posting. But they're still losing weight. So they're still there. And they're there more than they were in a less strict challenge group. So it's definitely working. So, but when you speak with someone, you say, hey, listen, I have a challenge group coming. You could put it for October 5th. You could put it for that. They're going to have an option of which challenge group they want to go in. They could start out in Stronger Than Your Excuses and be like, listen, they don't have to put a picture. I like a picture because I think it's important. I think it gets everybody over that little hump of being a little bit, insecure. And really, what is it? It's 15, 20 of us. Nobody's judging. Everybody's motivating.
It's a good way, too, to somebody that's floundering back and forth, that they're not sure if they're going to order, they're not going to order. You can say, well, it takes a week to come, right. And our next group is starting October 5th, so you can give yourself a little idea of, when you want to order. Right. That's why I like to know the dates. Like I figure it out every 3 weeks so that I can see when the next one's going to be.
Yeah, and if they order it too late and they can't get into the 5th, like I had somebody order this past week, and I say, okay, listen, our stricter challenge group is going to start on the 5th, but until then, I'm going to put you in Pure Vita Fitness Family and, participate and share some recipes and things like that. We do have to get a little bit more in Pure Vita. We have to figure out something for the fall. That'll probably be next week we'll do. But, every 3 weeks. So the next one's the 5th, and the next one will be 3 weeks after that, and so on for the stricter one. But I would say the Pure Vita one, the regular one, the Fitness Family is every month. It's just a different theme. And if anybody has any other ideas for groups or challenges.
We could always do another fall themed photo one.
Okay, all I heard was football.
Sound like an alien.
I know, it was so funny. I heard football and I heard photo. I can't hear anything.
Type, Anna, type, because you're breaking
I'm
up.
typing.
There we go. Fall theme photo challenge. Oh, it wasn't even football. Look, so I didn't even football. Yeah, we could do something like that. And I actually, my husband was saying that we should do a football snack themed, maybe like free group at some point too.
Well,
that's a really good idea.
Well, the hubby thought of that one. He was like, I was thinking maybe you should just do like some football snacks because the wings aren't really healthy. And I was like, you're onto something. They're good. They're good for something.
No, just like him.
Don't I? You like them? No. So, yeah. So I hope this call was helpful. I hope that you got something out of it.
Yes, definitely.
It was really good, Danielle. Thank you.
You're welcome. I would actually suggest you listen to the wake up call. It's pretty much, it was a really good one. It was very heartfelt, you could tell, and she meant what she said. And if you could take a listen to the podcast from last week, I think
really emotional.
What'd you say?
She got really emotional, and I listened to it earlier today at work. She got
very emotional. Did you listen to the Emeralds one or the other one?
The one that
the Power Hour? Wait till you hear the Emeralds one. She's bawling at the end.
What's that one called?
That was yesterday's, and it was really good. It was good, but it was very scripted. I have to tell you, I was like, oh, she's totally reading from a script. But then she started crying at the end, so you can. It's called Shane Fryer, Developing Top Performing Emeralds.
Where do you find all these?
The podcast app.
But you have to pick ones to watch, right?
So, yeah. So, the podcast app is that little purple one.
Yeah, I got that. Yep. Okay.
All right. And then you go to search, the little magnifying glass,
Mm-hmm.
Team Beachbody Podcast.
Okay. Oh, here it is. Look at that. There.
That would have been easier than me trying to figure out how to get on the website today.
You know what? Honestly, it's so much easier. It may not come up like that day, so you may have to wait a day, whatever. But it's so much easier, especially like I said, when I'm driving home and I'm like, I don't want to sit there and fumble with my phone, so I just do it that way. Another one to look at is Inside Shakeology. That's the new one that they're doing once a month. Yesterday's was good, was pretty good. Another really good one is Build Your Tribe, and that's with Chalene Johnson.
That one I have.
And then there's that other one that Christy listens to. What's his name? Like Dirk or what's his name? What she was on. I don't know why I just want to say Dirk Johnson, but I don't think that's his name. And he does he's Southern accent, and he does motivational speaking. But some people do, like Joel Osteen, I think, does one. Any type of motivational type speaker. It doesn't have to be Beachbody or Beachbody related, you know. It could be any of them. But all the national wake up calls from the past are pretty much on there. So there's another one I actually want to touch upon too, when the Sharing the Beachbody Opportunity, and that's from August 24th. And they're all honestly, they're all 25 minutes, because once you get past all the congratulations and the announcements, it's 20, 25 minutes. So that's it, really. So I hope you guys liked it. I'll stop recording now.